Okay, my friends, it is Tuesday and we are ready to move on to our second science lesson in our new unit, Survival of Living Things. All right. Now, at the end of yesterday's lesson, we were supposed to be able to answer the question, what do living things need and what can living things do? And by the end of the lesson, you were able to tell me that living things need water, they need air, they need food, they need light, and they need a suitable habitat, okay? And remember, a suitable habitat is going to be different for every living thing. What's important is that that habitat allows the living thing to get food and water so that it can survive. Then we talked about what can living things do. Living things can move, they can grow, they can change, and they can reproduce. Remember, we talked about how plants are living things, and while they don't move in the typical way on feet or legs, the way that other living things do, they do move in other different ways. All right. Now, yesterday, we learned 3 new vocabulary words. Okay, give me a minute till I readjust. All right. And you were asked to make sure that you found these words in the text and to write them in your science notebook. And the first word that we talked about yesterday was offspring. A person's child or an animal's young is its offspring. And one of the things that we said that living things can do is to reproduce. And to reproduce is the process where a living thing creates more of their own species. And then the last vocabulary word that we talked about yesterday was habitat. And that's a place where a living thing makes its home. But it has to be a suitable habitat, a place where that living thing makes its home and is able to get food and water in or near that habitat. Now today, in today's lesson, we are going to go ahead and learn some different vocabulary words, all right? And those vocabulary words are camouflage. And I'm sure most of you know camouflage. We've talked about camouflage at other times during the school year. And camouflage is a body covering that blends into one's surroundings. If you remember, last week, one of our reading groups read about a particular animal that is able to change colors. In the winter, it is white so that it blends in with the background of the winter snow. And another, during the summer, its coat is brown, right? Next word is predator. And a predator is an animal that hunts other animals. Adaptation. Body parts, coverings, or behaviors that help an animal survive in its habitat. Prey is an animal that is hunted by another animal for food. So those are the words that we are going to be seeing in our work today. Prey, not P-R-A-Y like we do here in the classroom, it's P-R-E-Y. Adaptation, predator, and camouflage. So be looking for those words as we start off the second lesson in our new unit. I'm going to collapse this. Let me walk around so I'm not in your way. And we'll reduce this and we'll look at today's lesson. And so slideshow. We want to start from the current slide, and there we go. Today's lesson is going to be about parts of living things. All right? What parts of living things are important to their survival? So what are the parts of different living things that are important to their survival, that are going to be able to help them to stay alive? And by the end of the lesson, we should be able to explain how living things use their body parts to help them survive. And we're going to go ahead and read parts of living things. And while you're listening to the story or following along with the text in your book that you have pulled up on your screen, maybe, listen for those vocabulary words. Listen for those parts that help living things to survive. Earth is full of living things that are alike in some ways. They all need nutrients to survive. They all move, grow, and reproduce. Living things are very different too. Those nutrients are the food that we talked about yesterday, okay? Moving, growing, and reproducing are the things that we talked about yesterday that living things can do. Up here we have a Siberian tiger, all right? Plants and animals live in different types of habitats. They may need different types of food. They may move, grow, and reproduce differently. They may have different ways of protecting themselves. Plants and animals may have different parts, body coverings, or behaviors that have helped them survive in their habitat. These special skills, body parts, or coverings are called adaptations. So those special skills, body parts, or coverings that help them survive in their habitat are called adaptations. And we have our Siberian tiger up here and our musk ox here. Okay, now all living things, including plants and animals, have external body parts and coverings that help to keep them alive, help them grow, and help them reproduce. External means on the outside, all right? So they have external on the outside of. That's what external means. So all living things, including plants and animals, have external body parts and coverings that help to keep them alive, help them grow, and help them reproduce. They use their body parts in different ways to see, to hear, to move, to take in nutrients, and to protect themselves. My guess would be the external body part that helps the knobbed hornbill is probably his bill. Bald eagle, mantis shrimp. Most animals have eyes which help them see their surroundings, help them find food, water, and help them survive in their habitat. While most humans have pretty good eyesight, there are many animals that have even a better sense of sight. Eagles have such keen eyesight, they can spot prey 2 miles away. Owls have vision that allows them to see at nighttime. Oops, didn't realize you couldn't see all of that, sorry. Owls have vision that allows them to see at nighttime. Mantis shrimp, pictured here, have eyes on the end of long eye stalks that can each look in different directions. Wow. Never knew that. Predators in the wild have clear, accurate vision, which helps them track their prey. This is a fallow deer. Animals who are hunted, like deer, rely on their eyesight to survive too. They have a wide field of vision, which allows them to constantly be on the lookout for a predator, even when their heads are down. So even though his or her head is down, his vision allows him to know when there is a predator nearby. We have a fruit bat and an African elephant. Ears are another body part that help many animals survive. A good sense of hearing may help animals hunt, or it may help them escape being hunted. Bats are born blind, so they rely on their great sense of hearing. They can locate other bats, communicate, fly effectively, and find food by listening for the echoes of sound bouncing off objects around them. Dolphins also use echolocation to hear where they are going and to avoid danger. Elephants use their ears not only to help them listen for danger, but also their large, thin ears help to keep them cool. And this is a wax moth. The animal with the most amazing sense of hearing may come as a surprise, the moth. Moths don't have typical ears, but instead have membranes all over their bodies that sense sound waves. They can detect tiny amounts of sound, which helps them to escape predators. We have the red-eyed tree frog, the clownfish, the heron, and the iguana. Body parts like legs, arms, fins, tails, and wings help animals run, climb, swim, and fly. Animals depend on their external body parts to help them survive. Mountain goats have strong legs that they use to jump and climb rocky mountains to escape predators. Spider monkeys use their arms and tails to grip branches, climb, swing among treetops, and feed themselves. Fish, like the whale shark, use fins to help them swim through water quickly to catch prey. Insects, such as the blue morpho butterfly, use wings to help them travel from flower to collect nectar as well as escape predators. What a pretty color blue. Unique body coverings also help animals survive in their habitats. Animals like the caribou that you see here have thick fur which help them survive the cold Arctic temperatures. Snakes and other reptiles have bodies covered in scales. Scales help to protect them from predators and keep in moisture to help them survive in hot, dry environments. Sharp quills on animals like the porcupine warn predators to stay away. The coloring of some animals' skin, fur, or feathers also helps them to survive. Camouflage coloring allows animals to blend into their surroundings or warn predators to stay away. Predators use camouflage to help keep themselves hidden so that they can catch their prey without being seen. Every animal group, including reptiles, birds, fish, amphibians, mammals, and invertebrates, all include species that use camouflage. Special body parts like horns, claws, beaks, and shells also help to protect animals and help them survive in their habitat. Horns on the water buffalo are used to defend themselves from predators like lions and crocodiles. Lobsters have claws which they use to help them crack open hard shells of clams or mussels. Birds have beaks which help them search for and pick up food. Animals like the turtle have a hard-shelled back which they use to shield themselves from predators. And animals are not the only living things on Earth that use body parts to help them survive. Plants do too. Plants need parts to help them take in nutrients and reproduce. A plant's roots hold it in soil, and then the roots soak up the water and nutrients that a plant needs to live. The stem carries those important nutrients of water from the roots to the other parts of the plant. The leaves of the plant take in sunlight and air. Together with water, they make food for the plant in a process process called photosynthesis. Flowers attract bees and other insects that help pollinate the plants and make seeds. The seeds of a plant are important because they grow into new plants. Every part of the plant works together to help it grow and survive. So we have roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and seeds. All living things, including plants and animals, have external body parts and coverings that help to keep them alive, help them grow, and help them reproduce. They use their body parts in different ways to see, hear, move, take in nutrients, and protect themselves. Now, what parts of living things are important to their survival? Well, if you were here in the classroom with me, we would have created an anchor chart together. So since you are not here with me, move this one out of the way. Okay. And we're going to look at the anchor chart that Mrs. Moran made by going through the text and rereading the text again. Okay? So camouflage is one part of a living thing that's important for its survival. It helps to keep predators from seeing them, and it also helps predators to be hidden while they're looking for their prey. Body coverings such as fur, scales, feathers, shells, and quills are body parts that help living things survive. Wings, whether it be on a bird or a bat or a moth, okay, help them to escape from predators. Mouth or a beak, okay, the mouth or the beak can be used to dig up worms or bugs from logs as a form of nutrition. Can also help them protect themselves from predators. Tails, fins, arms, and legs are parts of living things that are important for survival. So are ears. We heard that with both the elephant and the bat. Eyes. Now the bat is blind, born blind, but its ears help it to sense when there is a predator, okay? Eyes for other living things are important for survival. Remember, even the doe or the fawn has eyes that when its head are down are able to be very aware of predators coming towards them. Okay, special parts like horns, claws, stingers, feelers, and antennae on different living things help them to survive. And then remember, it said it wasn't just animals, okay, that had these different these different parts that help them to survive, but plants do as well, okay? Roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and seeds are all things that help a living thing, plant, to survive. So these are all the different parts of living things that are important to their survival. Okay, now let's go back to, okay, how parts of living things help them survive. In your packet that, or your attachments that I attached to today's lesson, there are two sheets that look like this, okay? And your job is to go through the PowerPoint that is also attached. Find the picture or the card for a mammal, okay? I'm going to use the example of a bear. A bear is a mammal, so I'm going to go ahead and print bear as my mammal. And I'm going to put the body part that is used to help them survive is long claws. Okay, and I know that their long claws are used to dig. I know that their long claws are used to scratch as a way of defending. Okay, so, and I'm sure there's one other one, I just can't think of it off the top of my head right now. So your job is going to be in the PowerPoint that you have to go ahead. First, pull up the PowerPoint, have your worksheets nearby, find a mammal, a bird, a fish, a reptile, an invertebrate, an amphibian, and a plant. And for each one, pick a body part that helps it to survive, and then list the ways in the third box that that body part helps them to survive. In addition to that, you are going to find an activity book page that you will finish as well, right? Again, as I said earlier today, should you have any questions about what it is that I need for you to do for this particular part, to show me what body part helps the different living things that we talked about survive and how it helps them to survive, your mom or dad can dojo me or send me an email. You did a great job today with the parts of living things that help them to survive, as well as you did yesterday with what do living things need. I can't wait till our next meeting so we can talk a little bit more about our living things and non-living things and how they survive. See you next time.